Before the sound, before the fire, before the stars knew how to shine, there was only you. Before the sky had a color, before the earth had a name, there was silence in the darkness, waiting on your flame. Water covered every distance, nothing moved, nothing stirred. Then you spoke into the stillness, and the universe heard. You pulled the light from the shadow, you separated night from day. Every second started ticking when you showed the world your way. In the beginning, you spoke life, turned the dark into daylight. Every breath, every star in the sky came alive when you said it was right. From the dust you lifted me, gave me purpose, gave me name. In the beginning, everything changed. You stretched the sky like a canvas, pushed the oceans far apart, raised the land from the water, put the rhythm in my heart. Seeds were planted in the soil, trees reached up to the sun. Every creature found its calling when creation had begun. Every word you ever spoke still echoes through my bones. In the beginning, you spoke life, turned the dark into daylight. Every breath, every star in the sky came alive when you said it was right. From the dust you lifted me, gave me purpose, gave me name. In the beginning, everything changed. Then you bent down to the ground, formed a man with your own hands, breathed your life into his lungs and helped him stand. Placed him in a garden where love could grow. Said it's not good to be alone. You made us more than survival, you made us for love. In the beginning, you spoke life, still speaking hope into my nights. Every breath, every beat in my chest is a gift I confess. From the dust you lifted me, called me good, called me yours. In the beginning, you were love. In the beginning, you are still more. And when you rested, you smiled at a world made new. We had everything and still wanted more. A voice in the garden whispered something almost true, a promise painted like freedom, but it only hid the truth. We reached for what was forbidden, thought we knew a better way. In the moment that we touched it, innocence slipped away. Shame fell heavy on our shoulder. We started running from the light, but even in the sound of breaking, you were walking toward us that night. When we fell, you didn't leave. When we ran, you still believed. turned against each other, we took hold. Every door was locked with pride, every heart forgot your name, but you were watching through the chaos, and you still felt every pain. Justice stood beside your sorrow, mercy waited for a sign. When we fell, you didn't leave. When we ran, you still believe. Even when the earth broke down, your grace was deeper than the ground. Through the fear, through the flame, through the cost of all our blame. Well, when we fell, you stayed close. Love was louder than our loss. When we fell, you stayed close. Love was louder than our loss. Then you found a man who listened while the world kept closing in. You told him there was coming rain, but also grace beneath the wind. He built a door called obedience while they laughed and walked away. But you shut that door with mercy, and you kept the storm at bay. The rain came down, the waters rose, but your promise floated above it all. When we fell, you made a way. When we couldn't save ourselves, you stayed. Through the flood, through the night, you carried life into the light. You remembered every breath, every heartbeat you had kept. When we fell, you saved the seed, you still believe in humanity. When we fell, you saved the seed, you still believe in humanity. Oh. And when the waters finally settled, hope was still alive. You gave the world another beginning and called it life.
The rain had fallen, but mercy stayed. After the flood, the waters slowly faded. Silence filled the land. A world washed clean by sorrow, held in your steady hand. Noah stepped into the sunlight, breathing in a second chance. And you spoke hope into the future with the promise that would stand. You set a sign across the heavens, color breaking through the gray. Every storm would now remember you would never wash away. There's a promise in the sky, written where the storms have cried. Every color says you're faithful, every sunrise testifies. Even when the clouds return, even when the thunder calls, I will trust the one who placed hope above it all. Nations spread out, fell the valleys, voices rise in cities tall. Dreams of reaching heaven's glory, built on pride before the fall. But you saw hearts turning inward, strength becoming their disguise. So you scattered all the languages, still your purpose filled the skies. No matter where the road divides, your promise still survives. There's a promise in the sky, written where the storms have cried. Every color says you're faithful, every sunrise testifies. Even when the from the land he knew as home. Said walk toward a place I'll show you. Trust my voice and go alone. You said look up at all the stars, count them if you think you can. So shall be your sons and daughters, more than grains of desert sand. He believed you when he couldn't see, and you called that faith righteousness. From one man a promise grew, a future written straight from you. There's a promise in the sky, bigger than the fear inside. Every star is still a witness that your word is still alive. From the flood to Abraham, from the earth to distant lands, you are writing history with faithful hands. And every night the heavens whisper, you can trust him still.
The rain had fallen, but mercy stayed. The water slowly faded, silence filled the land. A world washed clean by sorrow, held in your steady hand. Noah stepped into the sunlight, breathing in a second chance. And you spoke hope into the future, with a promise that would stand. You set a sight across the heavens, color breaking through the gray. Every storm will now remember you would never wash away. There's a promise in the sky, written where the storms have cried. Every color says you're faithful, every sunrise testifies. Even when the clouds return, even when the thunder calls, I will trust the one who placed hope above it all. Hope above it all. People grew and filled the valleys, voices rising, cities tall. Dreams of reaching heaven's glory, built on pride before the fall. But you saw hearts turning inward, strength becoming their disguise. So you scattered all the languages, still your purpose filled the skies. No matter where the road divides, your promise still survives. There's a promise in the sky, written where the trust my voice and go alone. You said look up at all the stars, count them if you think you can. So shall be your sons and daughters, morning grains of falls and sand. He believed you when he couldn't see, and you called that faith righteousness. From one man a promise grew, a future written straight from you. There's a promise in the sky, bigger than the fear inside. Every star is still a witness that your word is still alive. From the flood to Abraham, from the earth to distant lands, you are writing history with faithful hands. And every night the heavens whisper, you can trust him still. Every promise has a story. Every story has a cost. Every stare is turned to silence as the years are taken toll. Abraham stood in the valley with both grief and growing hope. He laid her down in borrowed ground, but the promise still remained. Even death could not erase what heaven had proclaimed. He said, this land will hold my children, though today I stand alone. Faith can see beyond the moment to a future not yet shown. Tears fall like the rain, but your word still stays. The blessing moves on from father to son, through sorrow, through time. Your will is done. What you begin, you carry through. Generations arise because of you. A servant prayed beside a well, Lord, lead me to the one. A kindness in a simple act showed the answer had begun. Rebecca walked into the story, chosen, faithful, strong, and love was born in quiet steps, right where they belong. Two sons grew in her womb, a struggle yet unseen. Two nations in the balance, two paths, two destinies. Before life begins, you already see. The blessing moves on from father to son, through questions and fears. Your will is done. What you begin, you carry through. Even our choices can't undo you. Oh, one burn for the moment, one reach for the call, one traded tomorrow for hunger that day. One trembled in shadows, one wrestled with fate. But your promise was moving, no lie could erase. Hands covered in disguise, a father's fading sight. But destiny was deeper than the chaos of that night. We don't always understand how you your plans unfold, but grace is writing history through the young and through the old. The blessing moves on from father to son through broken roads. Your will is done. You work through weakness, you work through pain. Your promise lives beyond our name. Even when we stumble, you are faithful still. Running in from the past into the unknown. A stone became a pillow under open skies. Fear was his companion, tears behind his eyes. He left his father's blessing, but the cost was heavier. Alone beneath the darkness with unanswered prayer. Then heaven split the silence, a staircase made of light. Messengers were moving between the earth and sky. A voice above the promise said, I am still your God. The land on which you're sleeping is the future I have drawn. You won't walk this road alone. Even when you feel unknown, you were with me all along. In the night, in the wonder when my heart was weak and wrong, you were still my covering. Every step, every stone, every place I called unknown. Now I see, now I know you were with me all along. Love came with a long road, 14 years to wait. Working under shadows, bargains changing fate. Promises were shifting, but your promise stayed the same. Through the weight of labor, you were writing Jacob's name. Flocks began to multiply, blessing filled his hand. Not by strength or cunning, but because you planned. In the quiet, unseen years, you were working through the tears. You were working through the tears. You were with me all along. In the fight, in the wrestling, when the days felt twice as long, you were still my blessing. Every loss, every gain, every joy and every pain. Now I see, now I know you were with me all along. Then you said, return now to the land where you begin. I will stand beside you, I will be your hand. Fear of what was waiting, fear of what he'd done, but the God of Bethel said the past is not the end. Through the years, through the change, through the fire, through the pain, you were with me all along. Through the loss, through becoming, turning broken into strong, turning nothing into something. Every step, every stone, every The God I met in the night is the God who leads me home.
The night before tomorrow feels the longest.
Fear of each hour, you split the camp in silence, praying through the fear. Gifts sent out before him, hoping peace was near. Memories of a brother and the stolen yesterday. Every step toward forgiveness felt like walking in a pain. The river ran beside him, but sleep would never come. The past stood like a shadow, waiting with the sun. When there's nowhere left to run, you meet the Holy One. I wrestled through the night, wouldn't let you go, till you changed the man I was into who I meant to be. In the dark before the light, where my weakness shows, you spoke a name I'd never known, and that name set me free. Wrestling with God, hands that once held tightly now clung to heaven's side. Strength began to falter, but faith would not let go. A touch upon his future, a wound he'd always feel. Proof that transformation is both beautiful and real. You will no longer be Jacob, your striving days are done. You wrestled here with God and you've overcome. Sometimes blessing in leaves a mark, sometimes healing starts in scars. I wrestled through the night, wouldn't let you go, till you changed the man I was into who I meant to be. In the dark before the light, where my weakness shows, you spoke a name I'd never known, and that name set me free. Morning broke with trembling steps across the field, but mercy ran to meet him before he had to kneel. The brother he had wounded fell upon his neck. Grace erased the distance, love paid every debt. Oh, what he feared would end him became the place of peace. When God transforms the heart, old battles lose their teeth. From the river to the dawn, from the struggle I am reborn. I wrestled through the night, but I'm not the same. You turned my fear to faith and my guilt into a name. Now I walk into the light, though I bear the sign of the night you fought for me and called this life divine. A new name at dawn, a new name at dawn.
He saw the stars all bowing, but they only saw his pride. A coat of many colors couldn't hide the fire inside. Jealousy turned into whispers, whispers hardened into lies. Brothers at the edge of mercy looking hate straight in the eyes. A pit became his future. The sky a shrinking square, sold away like nothing, while heaven still was there. What feels like the ending might be heaven's door. From the pit to the palace, from the chains to the throne, every step through the shadows, you were leading me on. When the road made no sense, when my world fell apart, you were writing a story bigger than my heart. Stepping in a foreign house, still you made him rise. Favor follows faithfulness, even through the lies. False words put him back in chains. Darkness closed him in, but prison walls can't stop a dream that heaven wants to win. Two men dreamed beside him, and he spoke what you had shown. One returned to daylight, one to judgment known. Still he waited, still he trusted years that no one saw. But time lives in heaven, not in human clocks at all. What feels like delay is the shaping of the way. From the pit to the palace, from forgotten to known, every tear in the silence was a seed you had sown. When the night felt too long, when I thought I was done, you were turning the prison into steps toward the sun. Then a dream shook the kingdom. No one knew what it meant, but the boy from the prison was the answer heaven sent. He spoke of coming famine, he spoke of saving grain. Wisdom placed upon him turned his suffering to gain. A ring placed on his finger, power in his hand. The pit could not erase the purpose that you planned. Every valley, every chain, every loss was not in vain. From the pit to the palace, from the broken to whole, you were shaping a leader through the fire of my soul. Now I stand in the light, seeing all that you've done. You were building a future when I thought I had none. Dreams don't die in the darkness, they wait for the dawn.
Hunger brought them back to the place they never thought they'd see again. Dust upon their sandals, fear behind their eyes, standing before the ruler they didn't recognize. Voices from the past echoed in his chest, but power wore a silence while the test began to press. Grain weighed against their secrets, silver in their hands, conscience rising slowly like footprints in the sand. Guilt can live for years till mercy draws it near. What you meant for harm didn't end the plan. What broke me in the dark was shaping who I am. Every tear, every scar, every shattered part, God was turning loss into a brand new start.
The youngest stood before him, a mirror of his past, the son of the same mother
meant for harm didn't end the plan. What tore us all apart was held in heaven's hands. Every tear, every scar, every shattered part, God was turning loss into a brand new start.
But mercy filled it more.
Don't be afraid, God sent me to open up this door. You meant it for evil, but God meant it for good, to save a generation the way He always would.
What felt like the end was the road we had to take. Grace was writing history through every heartbreak.
What you meant for harm became the saving hand. What was pain and loss was part of heaven's plan. Now the past has lost its hold. Now forgiveness starts. God is turning every wound into a brand new heart. Sometimes the story only makes sense when you see it from the end. Some promises outlive a lifetime. An old man crossed the desert with tears he thought were gone, carrying the weight of years and hope he'd held so long. You spoke to him in visions, do not fear the road. The land you're walking into is where your family grows. The arms long lost were holding a son he thought was dead. Grief turned into glory at every word they said. What you restore is greater than before. Your promise lives beyond my years, beyond my breath, beyond my tears. What I can't see, I still believe you're writing futures through me. Through every ending, something starts. Through every loss, you got our hearts. The story's bigger than one life. Your promise lives beyond my years. In a foreign land they settled, but heaven marked the ground. A family turned to nations as your favor flowed around. And no man blessed his grandsons, hands crossed in your design, showing heaven's calling doesn't follow human lines. He gathered all his children, spoke destiny by name. Even in the leaving, your covenant remained. We fade like morning dew, but your word stays true. Your promise lives beyond my years, beyond my breath, beyond my tears. What I can't see, I still believe you're silence, a leader near his end. Brothers gather round him, no enemies, just friends. You meant it once for evil, but God has turned the way. Don't fear tomorrow's shadow, He's already in that day. One day He'll lead you home again, to the land He swore He'd give. Carry my bones when you go, because His promise is there. We are part of something long, a faithful thread, still moving on. Your promise lives beyond my years, beyond my breath, beyond my tears. Through every rise, through every fall,